Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are out in Barstow doing a 3rd gen mid-travel build breakdown. Now this is the second time we're filming this, and that is because the first time we filmed it we had some mechanical errors. Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah. So when we were out here, it was our first time running the truck since it's been built. And before we went out, I did a bolt check, make sure everything was tight, and one bolt was loose, and that was the bolt holding on the sway bar link in the front on the driver's side. So I tightened it up before we went out. I got a Sharpie, put the marks on to make sure the lines match up throughout the day, and we went about our business. We recorded the whole intro. Unfortunately, wind got to it, so the audio was ruined. And then we ran this all day, got shots of it, and toward the end of the day, he let me drive it, and I was kind of mobbing it. Hit a few small jumps here and there, and as we were pulling up to the drift track to end the day, I heard like a clanking noise every time the suspension compressed. So we pull up to the drift track, and I look underneath, and this had unbolted itself, and every time it would compress, the lower control arm would go up and hit the bottom of it right here and like push it up as far as it could go, but it was still in place, so it was a problem. So we ended up coming right there, taking it off, trying to figure out how we could get it back on. Couldn't get it back on because the threading is completely smoothed out, as you can see. So we just ended up taking it off and driving with no sway bar link on one side, had to zip tie the bar up and everything. It was kind of a mess, but ended up just scrapping the whole video because the audio was bad, and the only good clip really was him mobbing through the Barstow wash.
Oh, you have that?
Making the fatal mistake of not knowing the depths of whoops in there, and he just smashed through them. I saw him like teeter-tottering back and forth through the whole section, and I was laughing so hard. Anyways, we made it back home after that trip and got a new sway bar link put on and everything, and now this is just a fond memory of what was a very fun trip and his first time out in the desert with his vehicle. Anyways, without further ado, let's just dive into what he has done to this truck and kind of talk about why we feel it is the best practical daily driver weekend warrior type build. So the first step in any build, whether it's a car or a truck, you're obviously going to go with wheels and tires. So for the wheels, I feel as if for 3rd gens, methods are just kind of not outdated at this point, but I feel like method wheels look a lot better on a 2nd gen, and 3rd gens with their body lines and everything need something a little more unique. I wanted him to get some Stealth Custom Series Raid 10s, but those things are super hard to come by since they always sell out. And he wanted to go with an Icon alloy. I think they're called the Rebound 8s. What? Rebound 8? Yeah. Yeah. Icon alloy Rebound 8 in a satin black. And wrapped around that, we stepped away from the KO2s, mainly because these were a little bit cheaper, and I heard that they are comparable to the KO2, so if you can get the same quality for a cheaper price, I'm all for it. So we're using his truck to test these out. These are a Falken Wild Peak AT3W in a 32-inch on a 17-inch wheel. Now, since we did do that first round of recording this and everything, we already have driven it and compared it to my truck. So while I show you the build, I'm going to be talking about the performance of it and kind of comparing it to my build. If you know my build, it's going to make this video a lot easier to compare. If you don't know my build, go check out that video. So as mentioned before, these tires are a little bit cheaper than a KO2, and I think that is reflected in the performance. Yes, they are comparable, but for that cheaper price, you're just gonna get a little step down in performance. I feel like grip on these is... The grip is good for their price. The grip is very good for their price. If you're giving it too much power though, you will spin the back tires a little bit. And also driving on straight roads at high speeds or, slightly turning, both of us feel as if it'll sort of slowly like walk away from you a little bit, maybe like do a little drift or a little fishtail or something, which for me is kind of concerning because I don't want to be losing control at high speeds on a straightaway in the desert. But again, you're paying a cheaper price for almost the same performance as a KO2. I also like these because they do have a very nice aggressive sidewall, and that's something I do look for on tires. The tread pattern's also very good, and I believe these tires, I don't know the technology because it's been a while since I did my research on these, but they have some sort of rubber compound that's supposed to be like revolutionary in making it a softer, more absorbent ride. You guys can look that up for yourself. Don't quote me on it, but I do believe they have something like that. Next, let's take a look at the suspension on the front side. So as stated before, I did want to use this truck kind of as a means of comparing different brands and stuff and not building the same exact thing that my truck has. So he went with Icon Vehicle Dynamics because I've dealt with King, Garrett's dealt with Fox, so the only other top competitor with all of them is going to be Icon, and I was curious to see how their suspension held up. Also, aside from the suspension, I really do like their website and how they provide those like pre-built packages on like the different configurations of like, you know, stage 1 through stage, I think it's 10 maybe it goes up to, of like very beginner all the way to like super gnarly builds. So I do like that. So he is running a stage 4 Icon kit, which comes with tubed upper control arms with their patent pending delta joint, which I would look up if I were you because it's actually very interesting. Again, it's been a while since I did my research on these, so I kind of forget what makes it so unique, but I do remember it being super cool when I read about it. So go look into their delta joints. It comes with a 2.5-inch coilover with a remote reservoir, no adjusters. Moving around to the back side, this kit also comes with a 2.0 shock with the remote reservoir with no adjusters. And it comes with an add-a-leaf pack that he hasn't put on yet. He's just running stock leafs right now. Now that I'm looking at this, you have oil leaking out again on the same shock. So last time we filmed this, he had an oil leak problem, but it was coming out of the reservoir and it got stuck and pulled up in the sticker. So we'd run our finger along it, pushing all the liquid, and it would pour out. And now it's right here coming out of where the hose fits. Anyways, while he checks that out, let me talk about the ride. The ride quality is so amazing on these, I kid you not. Again, as I stated in my Pedal Commander video, the thing that you guys should like about me the most is that I'm not big enough to be paid off by anybody to talk good about their products. This is all honest opinion. Those Icon shocks, oh my God, that is a great, fantastic ride. I don't know if it's just because mine aren't really tuned for daily driving as much as it is for rough stuff, and his are more for daily driving, but that is a smooth ride. All the way in from the main road, we're probably a mile to 2 miles in right now of, you know, some pretty nice rollers and whoops and everything and potholes and stuff, and that thing just soaks it all up, as to where on mine I would compare it to being like a very rough ride, because I feel like mine are built for a little more bigger whoops and stuff like that. So his, where mine would like buck and be really stiff and like push the whole vehicle up and jolt you around, his just absorbs so nice. Garrett just called me because he's on his way up for unrelated reasons to this, which I will explain later in the video. But back to the ride quality, it is just phenomenal. I can see why they are priced the same as Fox and King's. Big stuff, little stuff, medium stuff, it takes it all very, very smooth. My back doesn't hurt yet, and mine, my back gets abused throughout the day. So all in all, I really do feel as if the stage 4 or anything kind of close to that is a very, very great option for a daily driver who wants to tackle the desert every now and then. Even if you're looking for just a lift and you don't hit the desert as much as you think you would, it's a good lift option. So kind of comparing notes with Bryson, again, making a comparison between mine and his. Mine, it could come down to the tuning, not even the shocks as much as the tuning, but we feel as if mine can take sort of the bigger stuff, you know, deeper whoops, harder impact from full droop or something, maybe jumps, than his can, but that may be due to the fact that mine are tuned for that a little more. That's why it's stiffer on the smaller stuff as to where his is more comfortable, and that's why his kind of bottoms out, smashes the skid plate on the bigger stuff as to where mine compresses very nicely and takes it. All in all, if you are looking for a great daily driver build that's not gonna break the bank too much, how much did all this cost? Wheels, tires, and suspension, not exhaust.
Wheels, tires, and suspension, probably like $5,000, $4,000.
$5,000. Yeah, that's about the price I paid for mine. So yeah, if you're gonna tackle the desert every now and then with the daily driver, not a bad option. About $5,000 for full suspension, wheels, and tires. Mine cost about the same price, and I think I've got my money's worth out of it compared to abusing your truck and breaking parts because you're not built. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for the talking part of this. I'm gonna try to get some footage of it driving around the desert and taking some of the abuse. But right now, he's asking to head back to the drift track right here at Apple Valley Speedway, which is why Garrett's coming out here. And let me tell you why once we get there. Oof. That MBRP exhaust sounds nice. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a princess when it comes to exhausts on vehicles, and I like to believe I picked the best exhaust options on
my vehicle.
on vehicles in general. And for a third gen Tacoma's MBRP 3-inch catback exhaust.
I think Posty songs are cleared on YouTube, I'm not sure.
It sounds amazing. There's a video of us installing it and sound clips. Go check that out because I think this sounds the best. Hold on. Just give her a little pepper. Let's go for it. Now, if you haven't been to the desert, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. If you have been to the desert, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But when you record on any camera riding through the desert, just the lighting or something about it makes all the whoops and dips and bumps look so much smaller than they actually are in person. So I'm not gonna do too many POV shots, but I'm gonna try to get some and see if they come out good. If it looks like a flat road in the video, then I'm not gonna put it in because you guys aren't gonna believe us. I wouldn't believe us. So let me tell you the real reason we're out here today. It's not to make the video, but I did want to make the video because the first one got scrapped. But the real reason I came out today is because my favorite YouTuber slash vlogger slash car enthusiast, TJ Hunt, some of you may know him, some of you may not. Back up to the wall right there like we did before. Go check out his channel if you haven't. But he's a car YouTuber and he does drifting. So he's got a competition 350Z that's pretty gnarly. And he, within this year, bought a 370Z practice car so he didn't beat up his comp car. And he said in one of his videos that he was gonna be out at Grange Motor Circuit drifting on Friday, which is today. I'm sorry if you can't hear me out here, but if you're an OG Barstow attender, you know that this track used to be called Grange Motor Circuit before it got bought out in the last year or two, and they switched the name to Apple Valley Speedway. So I heard he's gonna be coming out here to drift, and it seems like a perfect opportunity to come out, record this video, and see your favorite YouTuber drift, and he is insane.
He's really fucking good.
I've seen his drifting on his YouTube channel, and I was like, all right, he's pretty good. But again, YouTube cannot capture in-person type stuff, and he is amazing. So I'm out here today to watch him drift. Garrett's gonna come out and meet us, and we're gonna record this video for you guys. So while we wait for TJ to hop back on the track, let's just talk about a few more comparisons to the truck. Like I said before, he doesn't have an add-a leaf. He's running stock leaf springs, as to where I have the Deaver J66. I'm not even gonna talk about those because I'm fairly upset with them right now, and that's a whole different conversation. But I got the Deavers mainly because I wanted lift in the rear, so I'm not, I don't have the bro lean, you know, with that huge rake with the front end higher. But for some reason, with the third gens, you don't need that extra lift in the back to level it out. So that might be better for the third gen builds. Keep your stock leaf springs, maybe do an add a leaf if you need to, but right now the ride isn't too stiff, it isn't too soft, and the lift isn't a problem in the rear. So you might be fine getting away with a stock leaf pack. The size he has on these, which are a 32, let me get the specific sizing for you. A 275 70-17, fits perfectly in this wheel well. I don't think he's had any rubbing issues. Yeah, no rubbing issues. When he compresses all the way, he clips these clips a little bit. Clips the clips, funny. He clips these clips a little bit, which mine does as well, but this size fits in very well and doesn't rub aggressively like the 33s will. I was kind of worried about these side steps during bottoming out, like snagging a rock or maybe a whoop or a dip or something, but they haven't hit anything yet, so they're fine. Unlike me, he is not running a full-size spare, which I kind of do regret getting for my truck. It seems like a waste of money at this point. I'm sure if I ever blow a tire, it's not gonna feel like a waste, but I haven't blown one yet in my 3 or 4 years of having it built. So no full-size spare in the bed, adding the extra weight or anything. And it still rides great. Other than the Leafs and the full-size spare, I think our builds are very, very similar, except for the tuning on the shocks and how high the, I guess, collar, you'd call it, sits. Did you say the sway bar is hitting your coil?
Yeah, watch. So you could touch it.
On the backside?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Because like when I'm compressing against a vertical incline, it fucking presses against it.
Has anybody else had problems with a potential sway bar hitting the bottom of a coilover on a 3rd gen? I'm curious to find out more about this because I don't think it should hit. That seems kind of weird. If people are having that problem, let me know. I'm kind of curious to learn more about that. If you guys have any questions at all about the build or comparing it to my build or anything like that, put them down in the comments. I answer all of them. Okay, we have Garrett up here now, who I gave a ride in the truck, and obviously he's ridden in mine before, so he can give an unbiased opinion because he hasn't heard my thoughts on how it rides compared to mine. So let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So Dylan's truck is either too stiff. Bryson's truck, when we're hitting the same trail we usually do, it kind of soaks it up a little better, like it stays planted. It seems like it stays planted. I don't know if it's a leaf spring pack or whatever it is, but it stays on the ground, so it has less of a slam when it hits the ground. But Dylan's truck seems like it likes to either bottom out too fast or it's too stiff and it bounces it, and then when you land it just, it's like hard. Yeah, it's just rebounding basically. But front end, Dylan's truck, rear end, Bryson's truck.
Okay, we gotta cut this interview short. It's TJ Hunt time. TJ Hunt drift time.
TJ Hunt drift time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Cheyenne's a huge fan. This is the real reason we're out here.
I think he's got too much power.
Unfortunately, the camera died while we were out there. I got very few shots of the truck in action, but hopefully it's enough for you guys to at least formulate some questions if you have more and ask in the comments. But we spent the rest of the day watching everybody drift at the event and caught TJ Hunt leaving on the way out, which was pretty cool. I got to meet him, Bryson got to meet him, Garrett got to meet him. We chatted it up a little bit, but he was on his way out. So again, I say it every video, thank you so much for watching, guys. Every view, like, comment, and subscription helps me out a lot. My goal to reach by the end of the year was 100 subscribers, and we're at like 151, I believe. So that's stellar, that's amazing. I'm gonna set a new super crazy goal for 200 by the end of the year. We got a month to reach 200. We got this video coming out. We got the TRD Pro grill we're gonna be putting on. That video is gonna come out. Unfortunately, there's a video I was gonna try to get out before the end of the year, which is doing a review on a long travel 2nd gen Tacoma, which is completely gnarly. His name on Instagram is Chad's Taco, so check him out. I'm gonna try to get a video with him soon reviewing his long travel Tacoma.
Link it in the description.
I'm gonna link it, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna be linked. And I'm gonna try, I just thought this past week to reach out to this guy I follow who has a really, really nice Baja bug build and see if we can get a review on his bug as well. So stay tuned for all this, subscribe, let's try to hit 200 by the end of the year, which is a month away. And again, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next video.